Hmm. All right, guys. I believe these are recorded for posterity, sort of thing, through this YouTube system. So this is on live stream installation of an RGH 1.2 in a Jasper console. What you can see in the camera in front of me here is a what's the term? Stripped down or bare console here. So we're just going to continue on with the process and get this thing RGH'd and working and talk to people in the chat and answer questions and do whatever. So should be a good time. Let's see. Screwdrivers. I don't know where my one little blue one went. Oh, here it is. Does Young Metro trust me? That's a good one. I finally looked that up after you guys kept asking me that last time. Yes, of course Young Metro trusts me. Why not? Oh. I'm taking the screws out of the front LED dealy. That wasn't done. So, getting a light board to come out. DVD drive, come out. Power and SATA for the DVD drive. For the fan shroud, if you just put a little bit of pressure right behind there, it unclips the little clip and gets you in there. Where's my shop? I'm in Castle Rock, Colorado, which is about 20-30 minutes south of Denver, Colorado. On the World Wide Web. Yeah, the store is at store.weekendmodder.com. That is a true statement. Oh, my wife left all the screws in here. Yes, you did hear me right. My wife actually tears down and breaks down some of these consoles for me when they come in. But she doesn't like the fat ones because they have a lot more screws. Wow, this is ramping up way faster. Last time I think I had been streaming for like 20 minutes before we had 7 viewers. That's kind of cool. I think we ended around like 20 or 30 though. Figure a lot of people are going to be out doing stuff though. It's Saturday night, right? So probably can't expect too many people to watch. I should really buy one of the electronic screwdrivers for this stuff as frequently as I do it. Am I selling JR programmers? Yeah, I think I have one left in stock and it's up on the website right now. But I'm also selling Nandexes. So those are a much more reliable tool in my opinion. And I would consider checking that out. They're more expensive, but they're the fastest way to read and write a NAND. And they're also the more reliable device. JR programmers, occasionally they like lose their firmware and you have to reflash the programmer file to it. Nandexes, I've never encountered that. So do we do white LEDs when modding? So yeah, sure, I'll totally do white LEDs. The only issue is that on the Slims, on the Corona Slims and the Trinity Slims, so any of the Slim consoles, the plastic in the faceplate is actually tinted green. So if you put white in those little roundabout areas, it totally comes through like green looking. So I avoid it there. All right, let me lift out the console out of its super protective, amazing housing. Next step is going to be to prepare to read and write the NAND by using a fiberglass scratch pen to scratch off the surface over the top of them. Getting a few Slims in this week, not sure if I feel like putting Ace V3s or CR4. Dude, if they're Trinities, absolutely put the freaking Ace in them, man. It gives you just as good as what you get with the CR4 for just a fraction of the cost. In the Coronas, I really like the Aces in those too, man. I just am a fan of the cost per performance that you get with the Aces. It allows me to keep my prices reasonable and include shipping and that sort of stuff, but then also still deliver a good fast booting experience. Oh, Samuel, you're upset that there's green plastic in there? Is that what you're damn it about? Damn, that's a weird word. Oh. All right, now I am squeezing out some solder flux, and it just jumped out of my tube to apply over the areas that I just scraped off with my fiberglass scratch pen. Flux is going to do the job of keeping the solder flowing nicely and making sure everything goes and does what it's supposed to do. How to RGH a Corona V2. Dude, you've asked that a bunch of times. I'm not going to specifically make a Corona tutorial in any more faster fashion than I would otherwise. I'll make it when I make it. At some point, I'm sure it will happen, but I'm not going to give you any sort of time frame. How much you're sending? $75. Store.weekendmodder.com. There's a send-in services section that clearly outlines and defines everything. Tells you your options on paying, how everybody gets a proof video. So $75 for a send-in. That does include your return shipping. So I feel like really the service is about $60, really probably 50 something, because the return shipping cost me like $14 minimum, depending on where you are and stuff. There we go. Aces are cheaper and get the job done, but I feel like the CR4 works better in fats. Yeah, I don't like the Ace in fats at all. I don't do it. What you're going to see here is I'm going to put a Cool Runner Rev C in the fat console here and do RGH 1.2. And that is really nice quick booting times and will give us, I think, similar to performance to what a Cool Runner CR4 does. No sends to Ireland. Yeah, sorry, man. International shipping has just been a complete headache, so I'm just not willing to do it now. I'm sorry. It sucks, I know. In Ireland. I know Martin C. from the Team Executor forums. Martin C. is in... It's either... I want to say it's Ireland. And he was always fairly active on the Team Executor forum, so pop over there and see if you can find him. No one sends to Ireland. I'm sorry, man. That's unfortunate, but not something I can do anything about. What would I need for modding GTA 5 online? You need an RGH console. You need the game itself installed to your hard drive, or basically ripped from the disk or downloaded online. You need the mod that you want to run installed, and then you need a stealth service so that you can connect your modded console online and not be insta-banned. So black, brown, if you are following along with this or referencing it after the fact, within JRunner, there's an images drop down and an option that says Nandex Fat. Gives you the wiring colors for what I'm doing right now. So you can see the color pinout location of what color goes to what spot. But it's basically lower left on this header is black, brown, red, orange, and then yellow is the ground in this particular layout. I had an old arcade Falcon about a week ago, just an old console found laying around, lifted the CPU RST on the bottom, decided to give up a little since it didn't really want to use topside point. CPU RST on a Falcon. I'm trying to think through, so the default point there on the... I'm not thinking super clearly on that one right now, what point that is off the top of my head. On this console for the CPU RST, we're going to use the point that's almost up underneath the heatsink here. So that's not what they suggest in the original ones, though. I think they talk about using the top side point up here. That's right. The D point CPU RST here. If you burned that whole pad off doing your thing, dude, you might want to reconsider. Tackling the project yourself, because if your soldering was rough enough that you burned off that top side point, that's pretty rough. I know that, but a Jasper, a Corona, or which one? What are you talking about? Zach Mosley? What are you saying? A Jasper, Corona, or which one? What? Oh, which console would you need for GTA 5? So, it doesn't matter. An RGH console is an RGH console is an RGH console. The whole point is to make them run unsigned code, and once a console can do that, it can accomplish anything that any of the other consoles can do. So you can get an RGH Jasper, you can get an RGH Corona, you can get an RGH Trinity. It doesn't matter. If it's an RGH, it'll be able to mod a game. Period. Falcons are a bitch to RGH 2. Yeah, don't do RGH 2 at all anymore. None. RGH 1.2 all the way. No, what am I doing here? Green and then blue on top. RGH 1.2 has completely replaced RGH 2 for me for Falcons and Jaspers. I flat just refuse to work on Zephyr consoles just because they're just assholes. And then I just do Falcons and Jaspers and Fats, and RGH 1.2 makes those suckers sing. When someone sends you an Xbox, they're sending some of them packaged weird, or you say, oh, dude, I've had them packaged where they were just like wrapped in towels. I've had them packaged in like, I had one that literally had cockroaches coming out of it. I have had some messed up crap come in sending service-wise. I've had them consoles be so dirty that I was just amazed that they were functional. Maybe they weren't functioning that well or something, but man, people abuse their Xboxes for sure. And then they wonder why it doesn't last 30 years and gets the red ring of death and whatever, so I don't know. Alright, so what I'm doing now is setting up to plug in my Nandex into the header here of the wires that we just soldered in. And you're going to have to trust me. I don't want to show JRunner on this one because this is a customer console and I don't want to accidentally show his serial number or CPU key or something. So you're just going to have to trust my actions on the computer side as I describe them. So I've launched JRunner. I don't have anything selected. I hit the little question mark next to NAND type. It's telling me that the flash config is valid for a Jasper, and then I'm hitting read NAND. and it's beginning to read the NAND. That's going to take a few minutes to do 2 NAND reads, and then it does the verification that they're the same. While that's going on, however, I'm going to start peeling open this Cool Runner Rev C and start prepping it for install. Zombie Gangster, not the biggest expert, so didn't think I could or 1.2 with a CR4. You can't. A CR4 is basically RJTAG is what it uses on the FATs. So I'm saying that you should use a different chip, whether it's a ACE or a Cool Runner Rev C or CR3 lights or whatever, and do the RGH 1.2. Honestly, I bought a Corona from you last summer just because it was the Modern Warfare 3, because we're in the same state. Cool, thanks, man. My old Xbox lasted 7 years and it was dirty as fuck. Yeah, I believe you. Absolutely. I only take shitty Amazon payments. So I can explain that if anybody cares. So the reason that I take Amazon payments is because evidently modded consoles are like a target for people who use and do stolen credit cards and stuff. So I had a Stripe account, which allowed me to process just any credit cards through the website. I've had other market providers do credit card processing and stuff. And every time I end up getting these chargebacks from people who are using stolen credit cards to buy modded consoles. So I did a whole bunch of research on payment providers, and Amazon is basically the only provider that I could find that, because they know so much about people, because that you're likely to have an Amazon account, you're likely to have your credit card on file with them and stuff, they offer credit card payment fraud protection. So basically what they say is, when we process a payment and we say that it's a good payment, we're guaranteeing that. Amazon is guaranteeing that. So me as a merchant, I have to do my part. I have to ship the console. I have to be able to prove that I could ship it with tracking and all that sort of stuff. But I don't have to be responsible if somebody does a chargeback, because I did my part and I shipped the console the way I said it does. And because Amazon offers that protection, they're really stringent on what payments they allow to go through. So if there's any question, if there's a billing zip code that's wrong, if an address doesn't match up, if they just don't like your Amazon account, I don't know all of those variables and I don't have control over it. But whatever it is that makes them not like your payment, I know it sucks and I'm sorry, but it essentially is saving me from having to deal with chargebacks that would put me out of business. So that's why I use Amazon and don't do anything else. I've never checked, but I've done a tutorial on how to no, I've never done a tutorial on how to just disassemble one, because there are lots of tutorials out there and I'm not going to make one. RGH2 worked on another Falcon. It was the crappiest boot times in the world. Totally true. There is a pretty good wiring method that I used to do for RGH2 on Falcons to get them pretty consistently under about 30-45 seconds. But that's way crappy compared to what you get when you do RGH 1.2, and you'll get like 10-second boot times, 15-second boot times. How much would it be to send in to get it modded? Yeah, Desi, you're right, dude. $75. Store.weekendmodder.com. Check it out. That's where you'll find all the description on the send-in service. So the second NAND read is about to finish. Sorry, I think you guys probably get blasted out when it finishes in those dings. So it just compared and said the NANDs are the same. So what I'm doing now is I'm selecting the glitch 2 option, and then I'm clicking create ECC, hitting OK on Jasper 16 megabyte. Then I'm hitting write ECC, and it's writing the first 50 blocks until FF. It's writing those back to the console, and that's the Zell thing that's going to allow us to get the CPU key. So now that's done, I can disconnect my Nandex here, and we can actually start the install of the Cool Runner. Can I have the link to the chap that I think is from Ireland? I didn't give you a link. I'm talking into a camera. I said go to the Team Executor forums and look in the seller section or whatever it is. You should be able to just browse to it. So Team Executor, team-executor.com, and then go to the forums, and then look for their reseller section and see if you can find a guy by the name of Martin C. That's what you're looking for. All right. So chip RGH 1.2. This is a Cool Runner Rev C. The configuration that these come in. Let me see if I can make this refocus. Focus. There we go. So the chip configuration, as you see it right here, is the default way that I get them from my supplier. Not all configurations are always the same. It seems like, depending maybe even sometimes on the batch that you buy it from, you might get a slightly different configuration. So make sure your JP setting is jumped. Your cap setting over here is not jumped. What else am I thinking of? This 3.2 and 1.2 setting here, this little one, that one can be essentially ignored. It doesn't seem to have a huge impact on boot times, but you could totally play with it and see if it has any impact in your scenario. And then your switch is in the fat position. So that's what's going to get installed down here. Let me, again, refocus it. There we go. So here we are starting the install. So I'm peeling off the adhesive back. Yeah, so send-in services too. I absolutely encourage people, please use cash. I see that comment. Somebody, put it in a plastic bag and put the money in the package and stuff. Yes, please. That's totally is my preference. Is when you send it, just send it with the $75. That way, I get to have cash and not have to worry about what are things that come with payment processing, and you get your stuff turned around a little faster because I don't have to wait on you to pay for it after I've modded it and posted the proof video. Like, I can just get, I already have your cash, so the moment that I'm done, I pack it out and ship it back out. Yeah, Ace V3 and Fats I don't like. I've tried it very few times, so I don't have a good basis for that statement. I don't have, I tried it a million times and it doesn't work good. I cannot say that. But the few times that I did try it, I think 3 or so, I did not have good success and always ended up reverting back to a different method. Where does young Metro get his glitch chips? He buys them from me because he trusts me. Of course. Jeez. Don't you know anything? I have no idea if that's offensive or not. Hopefully it's not. So Young Metro, I Googled the whole thing. Does Young Metro trust you? It seemed like he was just like some sort of pop icon sort of person. Rapper maybe, or maybe just television star or something. I still don't specifically know what he's from. Vape. That's an interesting username. Vape. Makes me think of Darth Vader. Vapor. Darth Vapor. That's kind of stupid. My saying that is stupid, not the name. The name is fine. Can you RGH an Xbox E? That answer is a little bit complicated. The early Xbox E's that have Corona motherboards in them through the manufacture date of approximately 6 of 2014, yes, those can be RGH'd. The later manufacture date E series that were manufactured after that are Winchester motherboards, no, you cannot RGH the Winchesters. Alliance RGH does it for $50 and replaces thermal paste. Okay, cool, good job. I hope that that's worth his time then. It's just, for me, the amount of time that this takes, it's my second job, that I do it well, that I make sure I give good boot times, all of those sort of things. The amount of time it takes me, that's my price. I'm not really negotiating that or looking to defend it. Lots of people think that it's real fair, evidently, because I have done hundreds of them. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, literally hundreds of consoles. So Your call. You want to go with somebody else who's cheaper? That's totally fine. Maybe they're great. I don't know. I'm not trying to rag on anybody or argue, but I'm also not going to reduce my price. Why is it now $5 cheaper than before? I don't know. I've moved my stuff all around several times, redesigning websites and stuff. To be honest with you, this is where things ended up when I did the math the last time to come up with the price that made sense for me to be able to do it. So if I was $5 different at some time, then, you know, whatever, that's what I felt like the charge was at the time. I'm not some corporation, I guess. I don't have exact justification for everything. Xbox monitor. You keep saying I understand. I guess I'm telling you. Vape, do you vape though? Yeah, that would be interesting, I guess. Do you even vape, bro? Do you even lift? Do you lift, bro? Don't have to defend my service. Buy from sellers once in a while. See how they do things. Just cleanest, worth $75. Okay, well, thanks. I'm not trying to be defensive, man. I'm cool. You're not hurting my feelings at all. Fortunately, I have the benefit of this not being like my primary source of income. It's something I enjoy. It's kind of relaxing to me. I get to chill in my house and mod consoles and talk to people and stuff. So it's just a thing that I enjoy doing. But if it stopped tomorrow, you know, it'd be fine. So yeah, I'm not butthurt, man. Don't worry. How much your send is? Oh, somebody tell him. Somebody tell him. Do you need the big white thick wire for RGH on a Jasper? What? You're going to have to clarify that one, buddy. What chip did it come with? White wires, the only thing I can think of that definitely comes with white wires is CR4, right? The CR4 comes with a white wire. So if that's what you're talking about. Otherwise, you got to give some more info, bro. Have I ever had legal problems? Nope. Absolutely not. That's because I really adamantly don't do any sort of piracy. So people ask me constantly, and I pass up so much money. For people offering me money in exchange for loading games for them or loading mod menus for them. And I know there's sellers out there that do it. And to be frank, I wish I could do it. But it's just not worth the remote possibility of the risk for me. Like, if you do that shit and you get caught, you can literally be sued out of Like, you want to think about lose your house. Like, be forced to sell every asset that you own, lose your house, lose any amount of money that you have in savings, any of that sort of stuff. And to me, the risk is just too high. It's kind of a little bit of a moral thing, I guess, but not hugely there. But mostly it's just I avoid doing any sort of piracy. So all I'm doing is modding a console, modding the hardware, and providing you with that console back. And then I load Freestyle Dash and Dash Launch. Those are free programs written by the people who wrote it and contributed back to the community. So it's not like those are copyrighted, whatever. $175, you got to be sent 100 and 100 me. All right, Desi. How many personal consoles do you have, and are they modified? I think I answered this last live stream too. Not that I'm balking at answering it again. But I just take one off the shelf if I get the itch to play. I do a lot of gaming, or a lot of my gaming, my limited gaming, on PC and Xbox One. And I have a PS4 as well, so nobody has to hate. But I don't really very frequently get the chance to game, but when I do, it's usually on one of those platforms. So the 360 I've kind of moved on from, other than the fact that I still mod a lot of them. little bit of rubbing alcohol. Clean up that extra flux that I put there to get the nice little solder ball. Yeah. Do you put LEDs on your consoles? Hell yeah, man. All my consoles come with custom LEDs of the purchaser's choice. Yep. It's super cheap way to customize them a little bit. Everybody likes to have their own, red, blue, whatever, non-default Microsoft green. I think Microsoft themselves would clean up if they would just sell consoles with different editions of LEDs. But I don't know how much that would complicate their manufacturing process. But man, having everything one color really opened up the market for people to just swap out LEDs, and shoot, you could probably make a good money running a service of just doing LEDs. I just kind of added in as a add-on service for, if you buy something else from me. Custom boot sounds. No, I don't stock the hardware, the Sonos stuff that you need in order to do that. If you had a special edition console, we could possibly think about, which one is this? This is going to be A. So I'm disappointed in you live. Well, you probably don't have good enough video here, do you? I almost said I was disappointed in you because you let me solder a thing in the wrong order because I've been talking. That first thing that I did on the underside, I did to point C, or the post point, and this, but I had soldered it to A on the top. It won't hurt anything because nothing was turned on during that time at all. And then A is the PLL bypass, and that's the second one that I'm doing now. All right. Now I'm just routing the wires for this, avoiding that one section or avoiding this area seems to be a really positive thing for boot times. So this is the way that I recommend routing this as well. That's a little excessive on the hot glue, but I'd rather have things stay where they're supposed to be than move around. Opinions on Team Executor. I think they're awesome. They make good stuff. 1 foot ohm low loss double shield cable. Okay. What was the question? He was clarifying. Let me scroll up for Wizard dude here. What was your last name? Wizard Cool Runner Rev C. What was the original? Do you need the big white thick wire for RGH on a jet? Oh, no. You do not need a shielded CPU RST for RGH on a Jasper. No. Especially if you're doing this method, RGH 1.2, which is what I'm demonstrating on a Jasper right now, so maybe pay attention. I'm not going to use the shielded wire at all for this. So good question, and there's your answer now that I actually understand what you're saying. Let's see, find one of these wires that'll work. I charge less and do a more professional job than other people who charge 10 more and could mess up your Xbox. Well, here's the other thing, too, is that I'm an adult, I guess. Man, it sucks. It sucks to be an adult, but I'm 30 years old. I own a 4-bedroom home in Castle Rock, Colorado. I, work a 40-hour-a-week job. I do all those sort of things. So you're not sending it to some teenage kid who is going to just, mess your crap up and then go, too sorry. When I was it's been a long time since I've messed one up, but when I was starting out, I messed up a console or two and had to eat it and buy people new consoles. I did, man. It sucked, and I was upset about it, and it didn't make me happy at all, but there were a couple occasions where I had to fork it out. And the thing is, that I will, at least, I guess, is kind of what I'm driving at. I'm not going to leave you hanging. If the worst came to the worst, and I was responsible for messing up your stuff, I'd buy you new stuff, because that's how the world works, right? Now, if it showed up and it was previously red-ringed and then it red-ringed again, that sort of thing, maybe not my fault. We'll talk about it. I'm reasonable, but I'm not going to necessarily own an issue that I didn't cause, but if it's my fault, I will absolutely make it right. Alright. Try out those two. So these 2 points that I'm doing now, I'm going to start with this one. This is my CPU RST point, or B point. I use an underside point as an alternative for that. That is located right here, and it's labeled FT2R2. That's the point name here, FT2R2. And that's your substitute B, or CPU not RST, the clock one. It's the standby clock. Yeah, STBY_CLK is the way it appears in all the documentation. So the standby clock, or point B. There we go. Tin that. Weekend monitor only ship to USA, but if I pay extra, can you ship to Canada? Canada is the one country that I have shipped and had okay experiences on. The problem is that the priority mail that you need to send to have tracking and insurance and all that ends up being like literally $50 to ship a console. So, I don't know. I was toying with the idea of reopening up officially to Canada. So maybe check the website. Encourage your other Canadian friends to maybe pester me about it. But right this moment, I'm don't have immediate plans to add it, but could be swayed that direction. I'm going to replace the thermal paste, right. So my policy on replacing the thermal paste is whether or not I remove the heat sinks. So on a Corona console, the heat sinks have to be removed pretty frequently in order to put the post fix down around it. So when I put the post fix down, I pull the heat sink off. I do absolutely scrub and clean it and put on fresh thermal paste. On a fat console where I don't have to remove the heat sinks, this is my logic that I've read several performance tests that were performed on old thermal paste that had bonded and dried, and new freshly applied thermal paste. And the thing that they found is if you leave the old thermal paste in place and don't disturb it, its performance is nearly as good as fresh stuff. The place where you get bad performance is when you disturb the old thermal paste and then put it back. So if I was to remove these heat sinks and break that bond of the thermal paste and then put it back, I would consider that to be a dick move. That's not cool. But since I'm never breaking that bond of this thermal paste, no, I'm not going to replace it on this console. Do I want Trump to win? I don't give a crap about the election. Only if he mods. Do I want Trump to stop asking? Does he use an RGH? No. I liked how the hot glue gun doesn't use spider. I think it does, but I'm not. The camera quality is probably bad enough that it's not showing up. Plus, I've got some techniques to kind of dab back and forth a little bit using the gun, and it seems to stop those little stringy spider webs. Is a good word for it. Now we need to do this one, which is the PLL bypass. This is point A, and if you look at any of the old RGH1 guides, like the original RGH guides that are out there, this is a point that was used before the split CB update as point A, or PLL bypass. So this one is pretty precise. Could I dab real quick? What? I could. I live in Colorado. I could just drive right up the road. RB, can I contact you on Kick? So I don't use Kick. I have an Instagram. I have a Facebook. I have an email. There's enough. There's a phone number on my website, store.weekendmodder.com. You can there's a phone number there. You can text me. So I've got enough methods available that I'm not planning on adding another one for Kick. So sorry. Anybody that says that they're me on Kick is probably is lying because I'm not on Kick. Why are people asking me to dab? What is that about? I don't understand where people got that idea. There we go. Not the marijuana dab, buddy. I don't know what you mean, dab. What is dab? I'm in Colorado. Dab means like put some wax in a fucking bowl and smoke some, whatever. That's what dab means. I don't know what you mean, dab. Can somebody spell it out for me? In your cart, you have 190. No, I can't ship to Canada for $20. I just told you it costs literally $50 to ship to Canada, and I'm not turning that on right now. I'm sorry. It's not personal. I might do it at some point and add Canada back. I'm busy enough with everything else. Oh, dabbing the glue. Oh, okay. Show you the technique. That makes way more sense. Sorry, man. Colorado. You say dab, and my brain goes to marijuana. All right. So here's the hot glue gun, and then I'm going to try to get it without doing the string, and I just kind of put it down and then just do a little bit of a back and forth, and then to a degree kind of a swirling motion. And so I'm actually ending up with like the little spiderweb thing this time, but that's kind of the general technique that I use. Oh, this phone's about to die that's streaming the video. Let me see if I can get a USB cord over here so that I can keep this thing going. Sorry for the wiggly camera. Okay. There we go. Now we're plugged in, so we should be able to keep going. All right, so there's point C, point A, and the next one we're going to do is going to be point D here. Act like you're sneezing in your arm. That's what the dab looks like. And no, not the glue gun. Oh. You're going to kill yourself? Dab like the move. What, Samuel? Why would you? Don't kill yourself, man. Don't joke about that either, man. That's kind of a messed up thing to joke about. You don't want to. People that kill themselves are. There are people that need help. They shouldn't be made fun of, I don't think. Yay, back again. Hi, bad luck, Zeppy. There we go. So in this one, the pad for D, I first became aware of this as an alternate for CPU RST in the RJTAG days. They started suggesting that you use this. So if you look through the documentation for point D from RJTAG, that's what this is from. Also, it's highlighted in the CR4 install information, but that's also what we use for RGH 1.2. Okay. I'm just stripping and prepping the end here. Where do I get the wire I'm using? I am using, it's wire wrapping wire, aka Kynar is what I've heard it called before. So you can buy, I think I bought this on eBay for like $10 for a couple 100-yard spool of it, and I've never run out yet. So, do I talk to Mad Shark Bite? No, but you say always wonder if people that talked RGH consoles talk. I used to talk all the time to HTM Bacon when he was modding. We were pretty good buddies, and then he got an awesome new job and is doing that now instead. I talked to Rodent, who used to hang around the TTG forums quite a bit. I talked to Salamods a fair amount. I talked to the other guys pretty much just on forums. Those are about the only guys that I like individually talk to. That was an example of the technique there. There were no little stringies on that little dab of glue that I just applied. So the routing on this one too, I run it straight over under here. I do a nice bar of glue to keep this, and I let that cool because I'm going to turn it 90 degrees down and run up this corner over here in order to run it out. Is there a full release of XE build for 17502? Not an official one from Kaz, I don't think, but there is one available from Ninja that works and I've been using. So I guess that is a full one. Do I do dual nans? Not right now. I have done them. I can do them. I just think that they're not really worth it financially for all the time that they take, and that 2 consoles is kind of, well, better, I guess. I'm gonna take a second and make the camera shake again while I run this cable up on the mount here, because I keep bumping it and making it go. There we go. Now we have power and stability, hopefully. So here on the top side, you can see now we just popped up on this corner. I like to just kind of do a little tuck angle thing here, and that'll be our D point. I have done this for a long time. Yeah, 2011, I think. It was, yeah, that's when original RGH came out. So I've been doing it since then. My phone's almost dead. Yeah, it did. So I unplugged it for a second to rewrap the cord, so it chirped about wanting to die. But now it's plugged in again, so I think we should be okay. Hopefully the charger is keeping up with the fact that it's running IP camera and streaming to the PC. Or streaming, you know, it's camera feed. Has anyone given me a bad review or reply? People have been mostly upset when I didn't want the work that they were asking, you know, that, hey, I started my console and I messed up and I want you to fix it. And I've told them, you know, no, I don't want to clean up after you. Because it's just a more work than doing one that hasn't been messed with. Do I look at Mega? Yeah, cool. All right. So we've got ground or power, ground, A, B, C, and D. So we are wired up here. So next step is going to be needing to write the timing file to the Cool Runner Rev C that it's going to need to execute in order to successfully perform the RGH. The official one is out now. Xbox Modder says the official one is out. So cool. I will go look for that at some point. But the one that I have is completely functional. Other than it crashes with dash launch. The dash launch, the 316 GUI editor crashes with the 17502 dashboard. But for some reason, the dash launch 315 GUI editor works just fine. So weird. What do I think about the law of that medicine in Colorado? It's about to be like that in a few months in California. When it's medical, you can get your stuff when you're 18. With the new law, it's going to change to 21. It doesn't matter to me at all. I'm 30, so none of it makes a difference. Sorry, hadn't thought about it. What's the difference between RJ-Tag and RGH? I don't actually know the exact specifics of fully what the difference is, other than RJ-Tag on the consoles that it works on, and when it's successfully installed, can give you a JTAG-like experience as far as instaboot every single time. The new dash launch came out, what, 317? Is there a dash launch 317 out? 22 people watching. That's kind of cool. Let's see. We need a little wire thing. We take my little pin headers out of there. Connect this to the Nandex. And connect that here. Alright. So I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to unplug my phone. Let's see if that works. Okay. So in JRunner, I'm going to Advanced Custom NAND CR Functions. I tick the XSVF box. Then I'm browsing to my timing files that I have saved. I'm choosing the RGH 1.2. Inside that folder, I'm choosing the IFUMAD. Inside that one, I'm choosing the matrix, then the XSVF, and then I'm going to flash the RGH 12_19 file. That's RGH 12_19. That's what I find to work as a starting point, and then tweak up or down. There we go. Just program it twice for good measure. Disconnect that. So now we're all programmed up, and we'll partially reassemble so that we can boot Zell. Let's see. I'm still on 3.15. I don't think it really matters. I don't know what all these updates necessarily include. Hashtag abuse, that's okay, whatever. How much money do I make in a month from this? More than none. Switch to 3.17. Okay, cool. I'll download that and put that on this console then. 3.17. Any good offline files? I don't know. Anybody have a suggestion? I don't go online. Should you update? No reason to update unless you're going to go online. It'd be silly. You can search my YouTube channel for a previous video that I posted with a guide. If you order my console, are your yellow lights available? Yes, I have yellow LEDs. No problem. The orange ones that I have look a little yellowish, so if you want like a orangey yellow, we could say orange. But if you want the yellow, I have those too, so that's not a problem. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh. It's not going in the rear. Oh. Little foot plastic feet. They tend to break off from time to time. It's not a big deal at all. There we go. Put the fan shroud back so that everything can run like it's supposed to, nice and cool. Put the ring of light back in the front so that we got a power button to press. Connecting power to the rear of the console. Connecting HDMI. And also connecting network cables so that I can push out or I can pick up the CPU key from over the network so I don't have to type it in. Yay, ordering soon. Did the customer ask for LEDs? Yes, I'll do LEDs. This customer asked for blue LEDs. Can we trade my normal console for an RGH? No. You can send it in though. We want yellow for error and orange for normal. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I think we just lost video. Yeah, you're going to be stuck on that. My phone has charge issues. It completely died. 1531 says 1221 is best for standby click. Yeah, 1221, I end up there sometimes. The consoles tend to perform slightly differently when they boot Zell versus booting to Dash. So I just start with one and then pick it up. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to give you guys video back. I can move the webcam down and maybe point it at the console. Let's see. Program. All right, so we're attempting the glitch. We got one cycle. 2 cycles. Let's see how long this takes for a first glitch. 3 cycles. Yeah, so the stream, it's my cell phone was the one streaming the video, and it died. I couldn't keep up. I started it on not very much charge, so I don't know that I have another option to restart it and get it going for you guys. I'm trying to think what I could do. I might just call the stream because I just got Zell booted. It took like 6 or 7, so we're definitely going to change the timing file. Honey, how much charge does your phone have on it? Is it pretty close to dead? Or where's the modder phone? Honey? Oh, she's got her headphones in. Crystal! Where's the modder phone? Do you know? Oh, it's got to be upstairs somewhere. Oh, how many consoles do I do in a week? Did the stream? It didn't die. I should still have my video. All right, let me pull this CPU key down first. It's running 233. Got the CPU key into JRunner now. I'm going to turn this back off. I'm disconnecting the Ethernet cable. Disconnecting the HDMI. All right, I am going to pause the stream for a moment and run and go grab a different phone so I can try to restart that portion. Has your video? You're good. Why don't you just answer questions and charge your phone and wait till it charges, and then bring it back when it has like 20%. I'm gonna go get. I have a different phone. I can set it up and run it. So, give me a second. I'll be right back. 'Okay. Answer questions. Sure. Throw me questions. That's fine. Do I mod games? No, I don't go online. I am working on installing the IP camera on this other phone, and we'll have it up and running here in a second. We're dropping. Content must not be interesting. Where do I buy my console? So, this is interesting. Maybe people care about this. I don't know. I actually used to buy my consoles from a place where I would keep it all secret because I didn't want everybody in the world to be able to go there and buy them. But now that place has shut down, I guess it doesn't matter quite as much. So the place that I used to buy them from was Cowboom, cowboom.com. So Cowboom had, let's see what I can do. Let's just leave it at this resolution. Cowboom had really good deals on, really good deals on traded in consoles. So basically they were owned by Best Buy. Every time you went into a Best Buy and you like traded in your console and got store credit, they were the ones that were then reselling it. So I really liked buying from them because they had a warranty and all sorts of stuff. Lately, I've been having, since they closed, I've had to change where I, got that from. So there you go. Let's see. Stream. Oh, so this stop. This resolution is weird. They changed the resolution. Video preferences. video resolution. Change it to a 720. And restart it. Okay. There we go. Yes, I'm running OBS Studio, and then I used an IP camera on my cell phone to stream the cell phone's video to the browser on my desktop, and then OBS basically screen captures that browser to give video for. So it seems like the refresh rate on this phone is more poor. But what is the best type of flux? I use Amtech flux. You can get this off of Amazon for about $5 or $6. A big long tube like that, and it lasts a long time. It's good stuff. So we have video back, I think, as I'm demonstrating. Where do you buy your consoles? Yeah, we just addressed that. So what are we doing now? We want to rewrite the timing file again because that boot time was crappy, and we need to program the NAND. So let's do that first. Oh, sorry guys, camera shakes. Earthquake! Connected power. Connect the NAND headers. And so I have glitch 2 selected. I got the CPU key. I'm hitting create XE build, so it's creating a updflash.bin, and then I'm going to write that to the NAND, which is going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. It says cannot continue. Wait. What is loose? Let's see. Cannot continue. Did something unsolder come loose? I just had to rebuild my wires the other day. Bumped the camera again. I'm sorry. It's kind of a janky setup that I have here, so it's not super great. Device not found. It doesn't even like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Bounce the camera again. Your PS3 neons. Vexmoth. That name sounds familiar. You bought a Jasper from me before. Cool. What are you talking about? This other guy that keeps saying this. PS3 neons. What does that mean? What's a PS3 neon? You bought some neon LEDs or something? Flash config 0000. Why is that? Flash config, when it reads all zeros like this, like what I'm getting right now, typically indicates a soldering or connection issue. So if you allowed something to come disconnected, or your tool broke, or your wires aren't making good connection at the header here, all possible causes. Might have to do a touch-up solder here. I don't see any obvious issues with any of these solder points. I mean, they're all a little excessive right now, but that's because they're all temporary and they get removed. LED strips, okay. That's what neons are, I guess. LED strips. I'm sorry that you broke them. Okay, that one looked like it might be the only one that would. It would be weird for them to be bridged when we dumped the NAND originally using these same solder connections. I should do more of these live streams. How many consoles am I going to RGH tonight? Probably just this one. It's 9:37 here now, so that's late enough for me. I'll go to bed after this probably. Flash config 0000. Why is that? I wonder if this Nandex is being funky. I should do more live streams. I am doing a live stream right now. Well, what's up with that? Oh, we lost. We froze again. Are you guys seeing Frozen video too? Rip hand cam, stream's dead. Oh, it froze. Let's refresh this. See what happens. There we go. Nifty pickles. Should be back in a second, I think. Alright, let me see if I got another Nandex. I usually keep a spur. Let's test it with this one. See if it's the Nandex being weird. No, it's not the Nandex being weird. This one says the same thing. Okay. Alright, well, the answer there really is resolder your NAND wires in. Don't know why this is really the case, why it seems to be a connection issue, but that's definitely what that indicates. So even I will pull off what I've got and just redo it right over. The nice thing is this thing's at the point where it's booting Zell, so if we have to, I can just flash it via Zell to finalize it, but I want to write it back this way because this is how I always do it, and there's really no explanation for why it's being weird all of a sudden. How do I hold the phone up? Yeah, it's one of those flexible arm things that mounts to my desk in, and then it routes up and then holds it like it's just out of it, so it's even with my hand, you know, it's this far below, out of the frame, barely. What is this? Books. I don't know what that question is. All right. Resoldering in NAND wires. Black. Oh. Brown. Red. orange. Then yellow is actually ground. I don't know the names of all the other connections, but I do know yellow is ground. Go, let's see, green on top. Oh, that was probably our issue. Look at this. The green wire just separated from the heat shrinked resistor leg that it was soldered to. So there is our explanation for why our ability to read and write the NAND had just dropped. Oh, so I'm not going to worry about fixing it and reattaching that thing right now, but I am going to just... Well, that makes me nervous doing that over the console. There we go. Green. So we didn't have to redo all of them. The rest of them were absolutely fine, but redoing it allowed me to find the mistake. So let's see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cables that you have to temporarily solder in. I don't think it's that many. They just look all funky in the video because they're chucking everywhere and whatever. All right. So here is the Nandex back. We've got our UPD flash created, and I need to run it real quick through XEbuild GUI. And then write the NAND. All right, we are in progress of writing the updated NAND. There are no cables to do, only an E3 flasher. Cool, I guess. Great. So when we get done doing that, we will attach our Cool Runner reprogramming cable here and update the timing file, because the boot performance on Zell was pretty poor. Actually, we'll boot it first to the desktop, because as I mentioned before, the boot performance to the modded NAND, once it's actually a full thing rather than just Zell, is different routinely than it is to boot just Zell. You would get so confused. Well, that's why. Here's the bottom line too for doing an RGH. Basically $50, basically $10. So you're basically at $60. You don't have a soldering iron. You don't have a LEDs. You don't have solder. You don't have flux. You don't have any of that sort of stuff. Really quickly puts you over the $75, and that's how I can justify charging the $75. Basically, is that you really can't do it yourself for that unless you already have some of the tools. So me doing it for you for that, plus you're getting the guarantee of it's going to get done right. There's no real chance that I'm going to mess up your console and brick it or anything. Chance of that happening is really minimal. If Hillary gets elected, will Bill become First Lady? Yeah, hell yeah, man. I think he'll have to start giving blowjobs in the White House instead of receiving them. That's stupid, but no, he would be the first person. What does it matter if he's a woman or a man or whatever? I don't guess it matters to me. All right, so we're doing a boot. Let's see how many glitch cycles this takes. Oh, maybe I can get you guys some video of at least the thing is glitching. This is the base of the flexible arm that's holding the phone. So we're several cycles already and don't have a boot yet. So that tells me for sure we're changing the timing file. Let me get that Nandex ready while this is running. I might let it go long enough that it actually boots or not. Oh, there it goes. So there was a successful boot. If I had to guess, that was probably like 8 or 10 cycles. Totally not acceptable. So we'll absolutely reflash that. Probably go with that suggested 21 file. We were on the 12_19. So we're going to go to the 12_21 and give that one a shot. So it just booted up. I'm going to power it off. And I'm going to disconnect power from it. Rotate it around here so that I can plug in. Oh, sorry for the shaky cam. There we go. All right, we're going to flash that. There we go. Alright, so there we successfully reprogrammed it with that 21 file. And now I'm going to plug the thing back in and test boot it again. Alright, so 1 cycle. Bam, instant first boot. That was a boot. So that was it. I mean, one couple file up. You know, I start with the 19. Looks like maybe I should change my procedure. Start with the 21. It was a good call out for, I don't remember who it was. How does it screw with the chips with no power? The Nandex is delivering power that it gets over USB. It's using that to reprogram the FPGA on the glitch chip. So the Nandex is supplying power when there's no power applied to the console. So there's one. I'm going to turn it back off. Give it a second to completely shut down. And the fan runs for a while. There it goes. Now it's completely shut off. Let me see if I can give you a better angle on it this time. Let's see. There we go. All right. So boot. 1 cycle. Oh, it's going 2 cycles this time. 2 cycles. So first one with the 21 was an instant boot. Second one was a 2 cycle. Let's power it off again. Give it a second to shut down all the way. And that fan just keeps running. Alright, there it goes. Power it back up. 1 cycle. There we go, another instant. I mean, you don't get any better than that. Shooting on the Capitol Hill. Oh, that sucks. I wonder if this will stay there. Oh no, it's gonna fall right over it. Oh man. Okay. There we go. Power this thing off. And I mean, technically, you just witnessed the RGH. It's done now. The last parts that are left are, you know, clean up. A little bit of hot glue in some places that doesn't have it currently, just to make sure it survives shipping and all that sort of stuff. make the backup disc. So, make the original NAND for the customer, the CPU key, all that sort of stuff. We'll clean up all this flux that's left over on the board. So that's not good to leave there. It can be acidic or corrosive and cause damage if left. Do I think people should charge money for mods? I don't know. Let me answer a different question. Do I think that people should buy an RGH because they plan to make the money back doing mods? No. Because I bet you a big percentage of the consoles that I sell are people who have hold on. I'm losing it? Oh, dude. The stream looks crazy. My upload bandwidth must be sucking. There it goes. Looks like it's improving. Why buy an RGH if you're not willing to spend your own money on stealth and KVs? So yeah, I charge people. No, well, let me rephrase. I don't have a problem with anybody who charges for modding services. More power to you. If you have a market, if somebody wants to buy it, dude, absolutely. I think most of my customers have been people who have planned to go on and mod and try to make some money at it. It's just that I think the amount of them that end up frankly failing and not making any money is pretty high. So you know yourself best, obviously. If you think that you've got it, then by all means, if you can make a buck, make a buck. Who am I to tell you that you shouldn't do that? I mean, go for it. I just personally don't even do that. So I'm putting a little hot glue over the power switch here to make sure it doesn't go into the wrong position. Put a little hot glue over the fat slim switch so it doesn't get accidentally bumped in the wrong position. Because if either of those get bumped and turned the wrong way during shipping, it would cause the console not to behave correctly. And that's the last I'll use any hot glue in the thing. So now, essentially, the console will get slid over, and it'll obviously get test booted a bunch more times and stuff too to make sure it's reliable. But I'm going to plug in power. I'm going to plug in HDMI here, and I'm going to scoot it off to the side because the next bit that I'll do is the LEDs. If I can find my... Oh, there it is. So what I use is this little circular ring of Kapton tape. And take a pic from the camera of a mod menu on your screen. No paying people for co-host. Yeah, it'll just click on my... I don't know what's going on in the chat right now. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So now I'm going to do the LEDs. The first part of that is knocking off all of the existing LEDs. Sorry. So essentially you just float them off with solder. So you start it on one side, bring it over to the other, and float the bad boy off. You should be left with 3 unique little pads under each LED that you're taking off on the fat consoles like this. Because these are actually dual color, both red and green LEDs. They're not just a single color like on the slims. And that's how you get the red ring of death and the green circle at the same time. And they share a common power source. both sides have power at the same time, and then they switch ground. So if ground is on the red side, the red lights up. If ground is on the green side, then green lights up. And the center is only green, which is why you get no red appearing in the middle on a red ring console. I sold a Trinity 2.0 Halo to Andrew. I forget last name. Cool. Your friend bought it. Cool. All right. Neat. What color is this one going to be? Blue. Prim Slayer has a question for me. Beat go off? What beat? Illust Slayer. What was the last thing that you said? Illust Gamer Mod Forza. I don't know what you're asking for there. Oh, that's red. Here's blue. So blue LEDs. Use a little smeck of paper. Drop my LEDs out of there. So there's the LEDs that I'll be applying. Why so many blues? Everybody, I don't know. People ask for blue. I don't tell them. You see the options that are available on my website. So people just like blue. It's easy. I bet a lot of people probably wouldn't even care about custom LEDs, but it comes free with the service. So they go, oh, I'll just take blue, whatever. Yeah, every proof video has blue. Vast. I'd probably buy 500 blue LEDs for every 100 of everything else. So I'd probably use 5 times as much blue for sure. Center LED is blue only, just like it was green only originally. It's just a replacement LED. The other ones, you essentially kind of do a little bit of a bridge maneuver to make it so that the LED will light up when you have either air LED, which would normally be red, or standard LED, which would normally be green. So let's see if I can bring this in and maybe give you guys a clue what I'm really doing here. Hold on, let me finagle this and then make it refocus. Okay, I'm gonna try again. There we go. All right, hold on. We got this. All right. So you can see, let's see if I can stabilize this thing. You can see the technique that I'm about to demonstrate. So right now, this side of the 3 kind of dots here, this is the positive. The center is the green negative switching, and then this is the red negative switching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the solder so that I'm touching both the middle point and this point all at the same time. So when I actually solder this, I'm going to put my solder here, bring that in, and I'm going to make a little sweeping. So see how it's kind of folded over there? So now this LED, when it gets done, or when power gets applied, if this board was trying to throw an error or a normal message, it would light up that LED so that you don't lose the ability to see error codes. So here we go. Here's the 3 unique little pads that you can see on this one. The upper pad, so this pad and this pad are your negatives, your green and your red negative, and this is your source of positive. So what I always try to do is embed the positive end of the LED into the positive spot. So I will heat that up and then kind of push that in there. And then I flow the other part of it all together like that. Oh man, I wiggled the camera, sorry. So it's, across the two center points, and then there. How much you charge for co-host? What console? Outdoor co-host? You add me. Okay, you guys are talking about modding. That's fine. I just don't really have anything to add there. $220 for co-host? That's what somebody was asking. Were they asking how much for the console? Yeah, that's basically what my consoles go for. So this one, embed it in the positive, and then do our same little float technique to that side. Oh, and we hit the camera again. It's like tradition at this point. There we go. And then here's the last one, that upper corner. Alright, so positive is so it's embedded in there, and then we want to make it touch the middle. Clean it up a little bit. There we go. So now all sides of it have the replaced LEDs where they're joined, and will give you the error codes. So we'll take this, insert it back into the console. There we go. And give you guys a look while we do it. So there's the console. There's the center blue LED. So you got one glitch cycle, two glitch cycles. Is that going to be it? No, three. Ooh. Might have to change the timing file again. 4. Wow, that doesn't make me happy. There it goes. So 5 glitch cycles that particular time. Still way better back in the day with RGH 2, but there's proof that the blue LEDs are working as well, obviously, so that you can see them. All right, so I think I'm gonna call it, guys. You guys have been with me for a while. We kind of spiked and then lost it. Anybody have any urgent or last minute questions before I call it a night? Oh, I can refocus this. That would be good. There we go. Let's boot it again while we're sitting here, giving you guys some time for a question. I want to do a few more boots anyway. So just kick the power, and then I'll get back in and boot. I don't care about boot times. Well, good for you. I do. Not even my console to keep, and I care about boot times a lot. So that one, I didn't count. Maybe you guys will see it in the video. That was either 1 or 2. Read the message I wrote up there a bit, please. Zephix. What did you write? Let me scroll back up. I had this Falcon RGH and it got red ring. I replaced the thermal paste, but Jasper heat sinks, and when I tried booting it, still had a red ring. You need a reflow or a reball. For sure. How many RGHs have I made? Here, let me do a quick file count here real fast, just in my current output folder. In the current folder that I've been working on since I dumped it in archive, so since July 2015, this is one folder per serial number. So since July of 2015, less than a year, I've done 319 consoles. I have the files for those. let's see. Let me go back to my one more recent backup than that. I think I have it. JRunner. Yeah. Okay, so then my one previous backup to that I still have accessible goes back to January of 2015. So from January to June, and there's 203 in there. So from January of 2015 through April of 2016, it was like 300 and something plus 203. So just in that, I've done 503 consoles or something. That's an average of a little bit over 2 a day. That's a lot of consoles. I'm gonna boot this thing again. Reboot it. Yeah, that's a lot of consoles. Holy poop. And that's just ones that I have NAND backups for and stuff on the hard drive right now. I have a home server with like 14 terabytes. Not that that's all full. That's just the total capacity of the server. But I've got all of my older backups on that. So do another boot. One. That's another one. So we've got at least 3 instant boots. We did have that one like 5. It's a nice PC. Thanks, man. I really like my PC. It's a Haswell i7 with a 980 Ti. I just put a hybrid cooler on it today, so it's partially water cooled. It's a beefy machine. I really am lucky to be able to afford it. Because I game at 4K, so that's why I have a 6 gigabyte video card, and it's beefy. Let's see, where are my scissors? I guess that works. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 cycles. So between 1 and 5, it seems like. Maybe we won't mess with the timing files on this one anymore. I'll keep booting it and see what we get. Plus, it's the performance is always worse when you're booting them back to back over and over. When you just do it like you normally use the console, you turn it on and off every now and then. It's generally better than what you're seeing here. The case is a Phantom. It's NZXT Phantom. It's a full-size tower case. I think I paid about $60 for it or something. It's not very expensive. I bought it at Micro Center. Oh, the most expansive. Expansive is a weird term there, I guess. But so I did a couple of like clear ghost case with see-through DVD drive tray, cutout window, LEDs all over the inside. So that was another one instant boot. With both RGH and an X key and a flash disk drive. And I think that guy ended up paying 400 and something bucks for it when it was, all said and done. But I mean, that's probably the most complicated thing I've done. Or not complicated, but all in one. It's really kind of silly to do all of those mods to the same console because a lot of them are repetitive. Like, why would you want both a flash disk drive to play copied games and an X key, which lets you play the ISOs directly off of the USB? And then you add RGH to that, which means you could have ripped your retail disc that you got from wherever or borrowed or whatever, and then saved it to your hard drive and played it back later anyway. So doing all of those to the same console seems weird to me. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's another instant boot. Yeah, I think we're just fine on this. You want that what? The what I just described? No, you don't. It's dumb. You don't want that. But all of those things in one. Now, I would take an RGH console and a X key console and a separate flash console. All of those things, have one of each. Totally makes a lot of sense to me. But to put them all in the same console, you run into some serious conflicts. Like, for instance, the command to put an X key into disk mode, right, so that it will allow you to use a regular disk instead of using the X key, is to turn the console on using the eject button. Well, if that console also happens to be in RGH, when you turn it on pressing the eject button, it is going to boot Zell. Now, I know if you know your stuff, you know, like I do, that you can change the behavior of the eject button within XE build so that you turn on Zell using a different method. But it just goes to illustrate that the two mods were not really designed to work together at all. They weren't, one didn't think about the other. Nobody thought, oh yeah, they'll put an X key inside the RGH, Putting the thing back together now. Watching now 11. We're creeping back up. We had dropped to like 6 at one point. Ooh, 12. Hi. Please, again, guys, feel free. Shoot me some questions in the chat. RGH, JTAG, Xbox 360 related. I'd be happy to try to answer what I can. What I've done so far is RGH modded 1.2, this Jasper console. We did the LEDs. And now we're putting the thing back together. See if I can get you a better camera view here for the next few minutes while I'm doing this. That's annoying. There we go. What do I think about other console sellers? I think there's totally good ones out there. Use a reputable payment service, right? Use PayPal, use Amazon, and I don't mean Amazon in like gift cards. Sometimes I'll accept them that way too. But just be aware that if you pay somebody with a gift card, you could be scanned or whatever. Mr. Mario. So, I don't know. So, here's my thing. Is Mr. Mario occasionally will pop into my YouTube channel and post a response to somebody that said they were looking for a console on my channel. He'll post, hey man, message me on Kick, and he'll put his information in there. And that bugs me. I don't think that's cool. You're on my channel, my video, whatever, and you're trying to solicit people. I don't go on other people's channels and try to, take their stuff or whatever. So I think that would be, generally considered impolite. So I think that's not something that I appreciate. But he continues to do it. So... I don't know. I just let it. What am I going to do? Be mad? It's not appreciated, but whatever. So, do I think there's going to be any way to RGH or JTAG the Xbox One? Will there at some point be a mod available for the Xbox One? Very possibly. Will it be anything like Xbox 360 mods? No, not at all. So Xbox 360 is a Power PC CPU architecture. It is completely different than the x86 based Xbox One. If I had to guess, Microsoft is real soon supposed to be opening up the Universal Windows Platform apps to come to Xbox One, which would mean up to including Joe Schmo should be able to publish an app that would appear in the Windows Store and then theoretically also be able to get it on his Xbox. So if there was going to be an exploit anytime soon, my thought would be that somebody crafty is going to come up with a Universal Windows Platform app for the Xbox One and then somehow get it through the store, and then that's going to be our into the initial mod. If that can happen and they'll start allowing more third-party code to run on the console, I think it'll only be a matter of time before the really smart modding developers are able to take advantage of that and develop something. I found one modder on Xbox One and GTA. Maybe. I don't know. It could be. I won't say it's impossible, but I've never seen anybody have anything close to a mod menu or anything on the Xbox One yet. People already found a way to get pirated games on the Xbox One. Yeah, and they did on the PS4 as well. There is a method of cloning the NAND and getting pirated games onto them, whatever. But again, I mentioned earlier in the stream that I specifically avoid piracy directly. So those sort of things don't really interest me as much. I'm looking for the mod to be either a piece of hardware that needs to be installed. That way I can, offer that as a service. Or I'm looking for it to be a really complicated software process that doesn't include the copying of games itself, like over and over or whatever. Because if the only thing the mod accomplishes is pirated games, then I won't be performing it. I will only be doing the mods that are, apart from that. XKey style mods, possibly like ISO mods where you actually make changes to the source data, but the Xbox One is more like the PS3 was in that style of where all the data gets copied to the hard drive. So there's an install process, so they can verify file integrity. So if you modify a file, they're probably going to be able to detect it. So here we go. All sealed up and closed. That's past one cycle there. Probably past two. Let's see, 3 maybe-ish. 4. 4, 5, I don't know, 6. We're pretty high up there now for what I would expect. Oh, is my AV cable in? Yeah. There we go. Man, that was a long time. We might have to crack this thing back open and update the timing file again. How many times have I burned myself with my soldering iron? Not many. Once or twice. Usually, when I first started out and I was using super cheap Radio Shack irons, several times because they would get so hot on the handle. But now I use this nice Hacko that you can see under here. And this thing is ceramic and digitally controlled and all that. So, there you go. But if you could bypass the detection with a modified disk tray. So the disk tray thing, the reason that won't work necessarily on the one, in my understanding, is that, again, it installs everything that it reads off the disk to the hard drive and then downloads updates on top of that. So if what you've done is modify your disk drive so that you can read like not original files, the moment that the software runs through them and checks the files, it's going to find out that there's a modified version and either balk or override it or whatever. So that was a faster boot, but still not fast enough for my taste. I think I'm going to have to open this one back up and change the timing file. Let's try one more boot. I mean, that last one was pretty acceptable, but I'd like to see it be a lot closer to instant. Should start bringing tutorials back. I do tutorials from time to time. I just don't do them all the time. I would really like to. So the ambition that I have right now is I would really like to do a video series and document it all out, written and everything, for every single console type and every single mod. Do like the encyclopedia of Xbox mods, basically. So that was a nice fast boot. Night. Good night, guys. I'm going to be calling it here just momentarily as well. I've been doing this for almost 2 hours. I don't know. I might have to like actually write this down and boot it 10 times and change the timing file and boot it another 10 times, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to call it a night. The console is done. You can see that it has booted up here. Here, look, weird relay. There's my OBS software. Here's the YouTube control panel, and then there's the streaming video as it streams from the IP camera. Oh, that's crazy. But thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. Please leave additional comments or questions. I'll hit this last one before I go. Would stealth servers on the one be able to remove update checks? It's possible if you get some sort of man in the middle, which is what a stealth server is. If you get a man in the middle to edit the traffic or commands or whatever, sure, yeah, it's a possibility, but no real clue how to actually implement that. Who's a prick? The guy going good night? Or me? Aw, don't say prick. That's mean. Oh, now you're just... I think we're just going to block you. Yay! Message deleted, legendary mods. There we go. User blocked. That was easy. I don't know why that guy went all crazy. Anyway, good night, dudes. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. It's kind of cool to talk back and forth with you. I will try to be maybe a little more on the ball about announcing streams in advance. Maybe Saturday night will be like stream night, like Saturday evenings around this time. So anyway, I don't know what was up with that dude who I had to ban right off the bat. If you were just kidding and it was a poor tasting joke and you want me to unban you? Aw, now this Evan guy's doing it. What's up with that? Is he going to keep typing it? Do another boot while we're wiping. Shout out, please. eKorea854. Shout out. Out, shout. Hello. He has a lot of accounts, so he's just going to keep signing in. Okay. That was a nice fast boot, too. So it seems pretty reliable. Oh, it was just a joke. Okay, well, let me go unban your thing. 4 times in a row is kind of your unblock user. So legendary mods is unblocked. But don't just throw prick in there without... I mean, 4 times in a row, that's kind of weird. Don't do that. That's not cool. Anyway, I've been trying to say goodnight for a while. So, goodnight. You guys, peace out.